Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap. This is our pre-market session where we go over our analysis of the market and prepare our trade levels and our targets and our hypothesis for the day. My name is Doug McKay. I am the moderator and founder of Quantum Leap. This is a private group of retail traders. We've been around in one form or another for about 6 years now. And each morning we come into these sessions. Before I get going, the levels and the targets that I use are basically probabilities. So I look at areas of where I think there's going to be market inflection, and then I look for those areas to enter trades, and then I have probable targets above or below those entries. So I do have targets above and targets below, and I'm simply saying if then that. If this happens, then this is likely going to happen, and I'm going to do that. And it's a very simplistic way of looking at the market. I don't try to complicate things. So before I go, let's do the legals. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand their knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions made. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and the trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for educational purposes only. Please trade your own risk parameters, your own trade plan. Okay, so let's just get the news out of the way. We had unemployment claims came out right as expected. PCE came out right as expected. Personal spending came out slightly higher, and personal income came out slightly lower. So no big shock to the market there. We really didn't get much of a market move off these news. At 9:45, we've got Powell speaking from the FOMC. We've got flash services PMI, and then we got natural gas at 10:30. So not a lot of scheduled news after the 8:30 Eastern, but we do have to be prepared for any headline news that comes out in terms of Greece. In fact, that's basically what we saw yesterday. Let me get rid of this. This was our trade plan. We were looking for a rotational day. We were getting a rotational day. We ended up getting a rotational day, but then we broke the IB to the top. Then the news came out that Greece steel was falling apart, and then we basically went down and broke the lower IB, and then we trended down. So this is a neutral extreme. Neutral extreme is where there is two-sided action, indecision, and then one side takes over, the other side takes off, and you get a move into the close, and you close near the lows or the highs of the day away from the initial balance. Neutral days occur about 16% of the time, and when you get a neutral day, look for continuation in the direction of the neutral extreme. So my main hypothesis will be to be exploring lower lows. Now, there's a caveat to that, as if there's any news on Greece, we could get revalued in the marketplace and we could see a pop. I'm looking for some continuation lower because that's a statistical probability. But anytime you get headline news, we can revalue the market, and that can change in a heartbeat. Plus, you never know what the market's going to do. The only thing we can do is react to those levels. So our trade plan actually worked out very well yesterday. Our levels, where our key line in the sand was this one right here at 21.0850. I said I was looking for a rotational day with an upside bias. We got up to 1750. I thought we'd actually go and test that 20 and a quarter. We didn't, but I also said that if we broke below the key line in the sand, that we would explore the lower prices. Would go into price discovery back inside of the longer term value area, which I'll show you on the composite in a few minutes. And then our main target below the line in the sand, we had 2106.75 as our first target, and then we had our main target, which is 2103.25, and then our secondary target, which was 2101.50, and then support at 2100.25. And I said if we broke that, we'd likely come down to our next target at 2097.25. We got down to 99 and buyers stepped in, and then we rotated back up, and we rotated all the way back up to 2112.75, overnight. And we're currently trading. What are we currently trading? 2106.25. So balance in this area is going to be 2106.50. I was looking at the 2103.75 prior to the news, but that didn't happen, and we've moved back off of it again. So what I like to do to start my day always is I like to look at a basic candlestick chart with two moving averages. I use the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. What I'm looking for is slope and separation. Slope and separation shows me that this trend is strong. And I start with the monthly and I work my way down until we get to the intraday, down to the 5 minutes. So a basic routine. It's not too scientific, but it gives me a start to my day of being aware of where we are within the trend in the different time frames. So right now on the monthly, we've got slope and separation. Trend is very strong. It has been strong for a very long time on the monthly. We do not even get close to violating the trend until we get down to that 2050 level. Going down to the weekly, we do have a potential head and shoulder here. It's even more strong on the daily. We did see some weakness come in. We tested the 20 SMA 2 weeks ago. Last week they popped right back up. And so far this week we've got a situation where we're holding above the 9 EMA. So we don't have a lot of separation, but we do have slope, and the trend is not violated. I don't think the trend on the weekly gets violated until we get below that 2091 level. Actually, I'm looking at the 2089 level myself. And then going down to the daily, you can see on the daily, this is the head and shoulder that we're looking at. We're using this 2062-61 area, or where we're using this. I think we were using this one right here. Anyway, between 2061 and 2070 as the neckline. Hasn't developed yet. It's a potential, but the measured move on it, if I do a fib extension on it, and I'll just take it down. We'll take it down to this one right here. I like to be conservative, so I'm using the 76 area. Our 38 extension is at 54. 61 is 41, and then the 100% is the 2019. Now that 2019 is our next major target below, but it was on the June contract. It's been adjusted now to 2011, and I'll show it to you on the composite chart when we take a look at that. Anyway, it's just being aware of what possibly could set up. This is not a pattern yet, and it's not a measured move yet because we haven't set it up and we haven't broken the neckline. So you obviously have to take that into account. But we watch for these things. Right now, there's no real trend in the daily. We're kind of consolidating in this area here. So let's go down to the 4 hour. And I was mentioning this yesterday. There's no naked crosses above us, and that gives me pause in terms of whether or not we're going to go and make this move to the all-time highs to equalize those highs before we make a move down first. But again, with the Greece news, you never know it. The 4 hour, there's was a bit of a start of a downward trend. We are below the 9 and the 20, but we we've got separation, we don't have slope yet. We had a naked cross that they created with that move down yesterday at 21.11, and they've since come up and closed that naked cross. And we don't have any naked crosses above us on the 4 hour. On the 30-minute, we did have a nice strong trend. They violated the trend, then we started to trend up, and now they come down and they're trying to violate it to the downside. So we really don't have a trend on 30-minute either. And again, as I look at this, we do not have any naked crosses above us that have not been closed out on the 30-minute. And again, that causes me pause to think that we might have to come down and do some price discovery lower first before we get the a move back to the top. Now we do have a naked cross on the 15-minute that is up there at 21.0850. No surprise, 21.0850. What is that? That is where our key line in the sand has been, and the value area high of the longer term value area on that micro composite that runs between beginning of February and now. So we could go up and test this 21.0850 again from below. Currently right now we had a trend starting on the 5-minute, and we've come up to test the 20 SMA. We're having trouble holding above it. The 9 EMA is sitting down here at 21.05.75. We have two important LVNs at 21.05.50, so we've got to keep an eye on that level. And they're looking like they're making a move to come back up here. All right, so let's take a look at the big picture. This is the longer term micro composite that I'm talking about. I don't know why it keeps doing this. Let me just adjust this. This should be back here. There we go. You can see that this line right here, this is the value area high at 21.0850. So I'm looking for this to be tested, and I'll be looking to see if we find responsive buyers here at the 21.0850 to hold us inside of this longer term value. If we hold inside of this 21.0850, I'm looking for the probability of the neutral extreme giving us a continuation move down to these lower levels. And you can see we've got 21.0375 CHVN. Just below that, we've got the naked VPOC at 21.0275. Then we've got the, excuse me, 20.99 area. 20.9950 is the close. 20.9950 is the low of Globex. 20.99 and a quarter is the value area low, and 20.99 is the RTH low from yesterday. So 20.9950 area is the main target below today. And then secondary targets will be down at 97 and a quarter, 95.50, support at 94.50, and then we've got 93.75, 91.75, that 89 that I'm watching, and below that the big number, which is the most traded price going back to beginning of February, or our microcomposite VPOC at 20.8750. If we hold inside of value and we cannot break out of this 21.0850, the likelihood increases that we're going to come down into this distribution zone, okay, between the 99.50 and the 82.50, and explore this area. We've got unfinished auction. You can see all the gaps down here, okay, these wicks. This area is undetermined fair value. And if we hold inside of here and stay inside of value, they're going to advertise price down to the buyers, and where they're likely going to go and advertise those prices is going to be into these areas of strong price acceptance. But there's multiple areas in this distribution zone, what I call undetermined fair value, and we're going to get a lot of chop in this area. So just be careful when we get back down here. But 20.8750 is the key number to watch the next big target below. Above 2108.50, then we go back into price discovery above value. And the big target above there is 1350. But initial targets we've got at 11, a little bit of resistance at 12 and a quarter, the 1350, and then the next big one is where they tried to hold value prior, which was 1650. So we broke out of value, came up, we couldn't hold the 1650 prior price acceptance in this area, came down, tried to hold it at the 1350, and then news, of the deal falling apart and the prime minister walking out or leaving, whatever meetings they were, gave us this move, the inability to hold value above, the longer term value area. So we come down into, prior levels that, we had explored recently on these 2 days right here, found the buyers, and then we rotated back up, tried to get back out overnight, got up to 1275 right at that resistance level, failed, came back down again inside, and currently we're chopping around between 2103 and 2106.75. I mean, this is basic auction logic, so it's not complicated when you really think about it in terms of, an auction itself. Where are the buyers and sellers, trying to hold value? Where did they find value before? Where did they fail to hold it? And these levels will start popping out in your mind. So let's go and take a look at the overnight and start drilling our numbers down. So overnight, we've got a low of 99.50. Basically right at that value area low and naked close. The overnight high, 2112.75, right near that. Oh, look at that. It's also the open and the HVN of this double distribution zone yesterday. So we were finding price acceptance here. Okay, chopping around both sides, rotational day. Then news came out, and we went and broke that IB low, and went down and it created the neutral extreme. The overnight VPOC is at 2107.50. So basically, yesterday's RTH VWAP close. So, and then we have an LVN here at 2105.50, and then we also have an LVN here at 2105.75. So I'm going to be using this 2105.50 area as my, if we've still got 20 minutes, as my, my trade level to trade off of this morning. Above it, I want to continue to look long into testing that 2108.50 value area, microcomposite value area, with possible breakout and continuation up to 11. So the bracket I'm looking at this morning is going to be this 2108.50 down to 2105.50. I'm not going to get short until we're below 2105.50, and I'm going to look for longs and possible break above the 2105.50, but I have to be aware that we could get some responsive sellers up here. I'm just going to shift this up so it also encompasses this LVN right here at 2109.50. That separates basically the two distributions. We almost got three triple distribution, but this is pretty toothy here. And what that tells me is it's going to be choppy in this area. So this is a very difficult area to trade. So why trade it? Wait for one side, okay, to give up. Take the break above or take the break below. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, above, let's do the upper numbers first. Above 2109, I'm looking to get in, and my first target is going to be this 2111. I'm going to front run the value area high. if I'm in a trade and I'm funded, I'm actually going to use this 21. No, I'm not going to do that because there's. Well, no, I have room. I have room. Remember, I'm doing this on the fly, so I'm thinking as I'm doing this. I'm going to use 21. I'm going to use. It's a target, but remember that trade areas are targets as well as entry areas. So I'm going to use the 2111 target CHVN, and I'm going to extend it up to the value area high at 2111.75, because if we break out, I'll be looking for them. I'll do an add-on trade. If I'm in a trade with the break of 2109, I get funded. Say I get long 2109 and a quarter, 2109.50. I'll be funded by 10 and a quarter, maybe 10.50, and then I'll have a runner going. And if I break above the 2111 area, 1175 area, I'll add on to this for continuation up into the upper HVN here and a test of the CLVN. But I've got a pretty strong target. I think that this 12 and a quarter is going to be a bit of a weak, CLVN, a weak resistance, because I'm really looking at a move into my main target above, which is going to be this 2113.50. Okay, I gotta bring this to the front. Okay, and then above that 1350, I'd be looking for continuation to the next target, which is up here at 1650. There's really not much. There's a little bit of an LVN at 1475, so I'm going to put a trade on there. And again, I'm going to use it like that other area where if I got an opportunity and I've got runners, and we come up here and I see that we're still getting strong buying coming in, then I'll add on to my trade into this next target above. And I don't know why this keeps doing it, but every time I change this to saving it as my preset, I gotta call them and tell them that this is happening. Set as default and apply and okay. All right, and then above 1650, well, 1750 is going to be our resistance, and then a breakout trade above range. And then above there, we've got the first target at 18 and a quarter. That's the value area high of the 5-day micro composite as well as a CHVN. So 1850. It's pretty tight, I know. And then anything above that, I don't even want to think about getting short. I'm going to be looking to get very long into our first target at 2025. That is the high from Tuesday. And then I've got 2022, which is the high from Thursday. And then we get into this area right here where we've got all these undetermined or unequalized highs. We've got 24 and a quarter and 26, should be 26, I think. I got to check that to make sure. Can somebody check to see the adjusted all-time high is? It's either 21.26 or 21.26.75, but I think it's 21.26 because it was 34 up here on the June contract. And then we have the two June contracts. We've got the 32 and a quarter and the 34. So that's what I'm looking at. And this is, and when we get into this area, I don't even want to think about short. I want to think about a major short squeeze and a blow off top up into possibly these measured moves that we're looking at that range from 39 all the way up to 66 and a quarter are the ones that I'm watching right now. So you'll see there's no trade areas in there because I'm going to be running long at that point in time. And I'm just going to be looking for short-term opportunities of using the smaller rotations to add into a long position and build a nice, healthy swing position to take out those equalized highs and make new all-time highs. Below 21.0550, where we're trading right now, main target. Below that is, or next target below that is 21.0375. That's the CHVN. And with 21.0275 naked VPOC below. And then the next big target, our main target below, is going to be down here. Now I'm just going to front run it at 975. And that's this whole area in around the 99.50 area. You got 99.50 close, 99.50 value area low, or 99 and a quarter value area low, 99 RTH low, 99, I mean, just everything. There's a lot of targets right there. And then below 99, it's going to look a little bit convoluted, so I'm going to put it down here at 98. Below 98.75, I'll be looking for continuation down into the next big target below, which is going to be this 97.75, which is that naked close. And again, it just saves it. I don't know why it doesn't. It does that. All right, and then we really don't have much down there until we get into this double distribution. And we've got 95.50, or this distribution area, not double distribution. Sorry, I got to be careful how I phrase myself. 95.50, and 93.75. Well, there's a little bit of support at 94.50, so I'll make that a trade area. And then I don't think this 93.75 is going to be the one. I think it's 91 and a quarter, because you've got 91.75, because you got 91.50 as a naked close as well. And then 89 will be the next big support below. It's got that naked close down there. And then below that, this is our next big target below, which is this 87.50. And then below that, we got the FOMC number at 2084 and a quarter. Support coming in at 82.50. And then below that, we've got 81 and a quarter target. And then that's 75.75. And again, I don't know why it saves it automatically. It shouldn't be doing that. I got to probably get the next version of IRT loaded. All right, so there's our levels. I don't think we're gonna get much lower than that today. Our 20-day ATR is daily full session ATR is running 1990. So just to recap, I'm using 2105 as a key area to trade off of this morning. Above it, I want to get long into the 2108.50. I'm not going to try to enter any trades in between these two areas. Above 2108, I'm looking for a move back up into the overnight high and the main target above at 1350. Below the 2105, I'm looking for the probability of the neutral extreme giving us a continuation day and the main target below down here at 99 area with the first target at 0375, second target at 210275. And then if we break below the range, I'm looking for continuation down towards this 91 and 95 area. So that's what I'm looking at on ES. I know we're running late, but let's take a quick look at gold. We came down to that 68. Our target was that 71 area. It's shifted now. It's now here. We're going to bring today in. We have our value area low of this longer term micro composite sitting here at 73.80. If we get back inside there, my target would be up here to the 79 area, and then that's going to be a trade area as well. If we get above that, then I'm looking for continuation up into this 89 area with the first target being 83. If we hold below this value area, I'd be looking for them to come down. My first target is going to be the 68 area, the fractal low here, and the CHVN, and a move down to test the 61, 70, 62 area, which is the microcomposite range low. And then anything below that, I'm looking for bigger moves down. We got 58, 47, 37, but the big one is going to be down here at this 1128. We're still waiting if we break out of this balance area, looking for price discovery down to test the lower 1100s. But if we can stay inside of this value area, then I'm looking for them to come back up into balance and test the value area high. And then anything above the value area and above this 9250 CLVN is going to be a great trade to get long into the 1220. That is the composite VPOC going all the way back to 2008. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. Sorry about doing it on the fly. I don't have the levels, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to publish this chart, and we'll just put the chart out so everybody can see where those targets and levels are. It's harder to do this way because I got to be able to expand the chart, and it gets pretty small when I do that. Just fix this. Remember, just a reminder, I'm not going to be trading on Monday. I'm going to Toronto, and then Tuesday we're going to have a chat at some point in time today that I'll announce, earlier, a day or too early, what time it will be, about where, what we're going to do with the room coming into to July in terms of subscription. Okay, so let me just publish this. And that's going to complete our pre-market